In today's episode, Lindsay asks, does anyone repost old content from a year ago on social media? Like 1 year ago today, time hop stuff. Has this been successful? So reposting old content, resharing it, recycling it, etc., is fine. It's a perfectly good idea that can get, decent performance on older content as long as the original content performed well, or circumstances have changed that would make the old content do better now. There's videos that you released, for example, that didn't get much traction the first time because people were watching other things, and you feel like now your viewership on your YouTube channel has gone up, for example. Now would be a fine time to reshare that and see if it does any better. Resharing old content is... It's just tapping into the zeitgeist that was. And the advantage you have with older content is that you already have the analytics for it. Obviously, every time you put out a new social media post, you have no idea how it's going to do. You may think that a piece of content is brilliant or fun or whatever, and it flops. And alternately, you may find that something that you didn't expect to do well took off. Well, good news. You never have that problem with old content because you know what happened. You know where it went. You know how it performed. So look at 3 different data sets for older content. Number 1, and the one that you'll draw from the most, is your own content. What did you post that did well? And if you go to reshare it and repost it, is there a new spin or a new point of view or a new perspective that you can put on it that would give you a fresh take on something old, even if it's just a new caption on it? Hey, this picture from a year ago, Throwback Thursday, whatever. You're seeing a lot of this right now in the middle of the crisis that we're currently in. People sharing, photos and videos and things of parties and stuff that, good memories they had of times past. That's a really good example of something where the circumstances have changed, and so the context of the old content can be updated to be contextually relevant today. The second data set you'll want to take a look at is for that same time period, plus or minus 7 days in either direction. You have yours. What are your direct competitors doing? What stuff of theirs did well? If you go back into the older social feeds, do you see posts of theirs that did really well? Is there an idea or a topic that you could refresh? Like a year ago in our industry, this idea was popular without plagiarizing, never plagiarize, but without outright stealing their content. Is there a perspective of your own that you can offer on what was happening a year ago? And then the same is true for the sort of the overall landscape in your industry, non-direct competitors, vendors, partners, things like that. Looking at those 3 different data sets, which you can get from any social media monitoring application that lets you go back a year in time, what was going on, what was doing well, and then how do you create a new perspective on it? How do you create something that was really relevant? This works really well when you're about to go to some kind of event or conference under normal circumstances. But even now, being able to look back, like we're coming up, it's the end of March as I record this. Coming up in April would have been a marketing technology conference. Can look back at the previous years and say, hey, these were the topics that were popular back then. And while the event this year has been canceled, the context has not been canceled. People still need marketing technology. What were the trends that were identified at last year's event that we could see how they've changed or grown since then? That gives you the ability to stay timely, to leverage the data you collected about that conference or that industry event previously and offer a spin on it. And because the current event in this example has been canceled, you might be one of the few voices actually talking about the thing during that time period instead of being a diamond among millions, right? If there's a major event that would have happened, what would you be saying that would have gotten drowned out because of bigger or better funded competitors that you could now get a little bit more of the spotlight for? Hey, remember this great time we had at this past thing and some of the ideas from it. Here's what we took away from it then. Here's what we think has changed now. And we're not able to go to that event, but here's what we would have shared if the event had been on. But the look back works fine no matter what, as long as you're dealing with older content that is still relevant, or older content that's not relevant that you can offer a new point of view on. So never plagiarize, create new context around the old content, and then identify the content that performed best. Those are the 3 things to do to repost old content from a year ago or 2 years ago or 5 years ago or whatever on social media that can give you really good results because you know the original stuff did well and can help you stay relevant and even take advantage of the fact that people are looking back at better times. That's just the nature of things. So, if you have follow-up questions, leave them in the comments box below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.